Aaron Rodgers looked like the Rodgers we used to know yesterday with 4 touchdown passes against the Falcons, but it was Matty Ice with the last laugh after his game-winning TD pass in the final minute to beat Green Bay. The Packers have lost 2 of their last 3. Merrill Hodge in the house. Good to see you. Happy Halloween.
What's going on, big time?
Happy Halloween.
we don't dress up here.
Happy Halloween?
It should be. And by the way, people should have the day off a week of work and school tomorrow. And come on.
Yeah,
gotta recover from Halloween. The kids don't get to
was a big thing back in the day, right?
It was.
You couldn't wait to get home from the bus.
Right? I miss
bag
it.
and run around the neighborhood.
Good times.
Now I forget about it. I see people walking around here. I was like, what is going on? This morning, I'm seeing people walking across. Like, what in the heck?
I know.
I know it's Disney, but gosh dang. I thought you had to go to Orlando for that early.
No, it's right here in Bristol. Stephen A., I want to start with you on Aaron Rodgers. Who is most responsible for the Packers' struggles?
Well, I'm going to put some of it on Coach Mike McCarthy simply because I got a lot of respect for him. I obviously know that he can coach the game of football. I just think with somebody, this is what I'm going to say for him from a macro perspective. With someone as great as Aaron Rodgers, for you to not have been back to the Super Bowl in the last 6 years, I know there's a lot of things that have to happen. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not oblivious to that. But I just expect more when I see Aaron Rodgers behind center than I have gotten. I know they could have easily gone to the Super Bowl a few years back when they went against Seattle in the NFC Championship game and the dude messed up on special teams. But I'm just saying I expect more. But what I really hold primarily responsible is Aaron Rodgers and to some degree Jordan Nelson. This is a guy that he has targeted, I think, what is it, like 60 times? They've only connected on 31 of those times. You're looking for your number one weapon. There's Ty Montgomery. There's Randall Cobb. There's Devontae Adams. You should be looking in a bevy of different places, but you're prone to lean towards your guy who clearly ain't the guy he used to be, at least as of yet. It might take Jordy Nelson this full season to get back to what he used to be, but he's clearly not that yet. I see times when he's getting separation, Merrill. Other times, a lot more times, that's not the case. I know they're big against the run. They're not big against the pass. That's a defensive issue that's always been Green Bay's problem. But what's resonating with me offensively is that the passing attack ain't what it used to be. And even yesterday, Aaron Rodgers, 28-38. 246 yards. You throw the ball 38 times. I need more than 246 yards. I know he's got 7 touchdowns and no interceptions in the last 2 weeks. 4 yesterday. I get all of that. But I just need more, and I don't see it. And I'm thinking about him targeting Jordy Nelson maybe a bit more than he should.
The answer is injury. That's what's most responsible, I think, because Jordy Nelson's not the same. And they really don't have an elite receiver without that guy being what he was. And then you got both your running backs missing. And then even the wideout that you're using as a kind of hybrid running back, Ty Montgomery, goes down yesterday, leaves the game. So it's injury and age in the sense that, Merrill, I believe that when you look at great athletes, this goes across sports. They have this first prime where they're athletic and great, and then something happens to them imperceptibly before you can even see that they lost maybe a quarter step. They've changed a little bit, but not enough physically yet for their brains to catch up to the fact that they need to adjust their games a little. So you usually see in their early 30s a little dip for a year or two, and then if they're truly great, they have a renaissance where they're just about as good as they ever were because they've adjusted to the new reality. And I think maybe Aaron Rodgers is in that adjustment phase where he hasn't fully realized its imperceptible differences between now and in his mid-late 20s, and he hasn't fully realized I'm going to have to change a few things. I think maybe he's there right now physically.
Well, last year, actually, this offense and Aaron Rodgers started to erode, if you will. And when I say erode, the things that make the real great ones great, and even if, all players that are really great at their craft, that doesn't mean you're going to be a Hall of Famer, but you're great at your craft, is that no matter what year it is, you work on the little things, all the details. Now, a guy's going to start tonight that I know you guys probably talked a lot about, Jay Cutler.
Yes.
One of Jay Cutler's biggest issues is he just won't execute the play. And what I mean by that is there's so many times, it was just before he got benched a couple years ago.
I think he's horrible. Well, keep going.
Right. But I went and looked at the first series of Jay Cutler. He's got the flat wide open on the first and 10 call. He doesn't make it. He decides he's going to do something more with the ball. He ends up throwing it away. Second down play, he's got the curl wide open. He doesn't throw it. He wants to wait for the comeback and comes back, and he almost throws an interception. Now you're 3rd and 10. Well, Aaron Rodgers has played like that. He just won't execute the play. And a lot of his, so I go back to the Super Bowl year, and I watch all of his tape leading up to, especially the Super Bowl. The things that you see in Aaron Rodgers, once things pop out, how crisp and concise he is. His footwork, immaculate. Balls out in a half a second, going right where it needs to go. Now, take Tom Brady. How many people have shifted around Tom Brady? But the one thing that, you could argue there's a bunch of things in his legacy that he will be remembered for. He executes the play. I mean, if the flat's there, he takes the flat. And really, that is the art of really being a good quarterback, is taking what they give you
what's
and
changed?
understanding.
Help me. Yeah, because that's what changed. But why is Aaron Rodgers not doing that?
That'll add to what's
He used
problem.
to do it,
now
now
we got injuries. We got injuries. Maybe they, some scheme-wise, people are starting to understand that they try to do that cross pass that they hit Atlanta on yesterday, that they haven't done that for like a year and a half. You try to do too much because I just mentioned a guy like Tom Brady. He knows what his game is. It ain't outside the pocket. Aaron Rodgers has made how many plays like that? Then you stop trusting yourself and you think, well, let me do something more. And once you get into that mode, man, it's hard to get you out of it. It is hard to get you out. Now, yesterday, I haven't seen the tape yet, so I hate to say definitively, but he did look more precise and concise. And that is a good thing. And when he moved, it was almost like, he went through the right progression. It wasn't open. I don't know that to be true until you watch really tape on it, but he did look, and there was flashes on the perimeter where people were open now.
So is it fair to say that you're holding Aaron Rodgers even more accountable than a Jordy Nelson?
Oh, yeah. Jordy Nelson, to both your points, is not the same guy. And he may not be till next year with that injury. Right. And that's just in fairness. You see this all the time. But, yeah, Aaron Rodgers has to look at his game and go, listen, I'm hurting us. I'm hurting.
So you don't think it's physical at all? Do you think he's physically the same? It's all in his head, and he's trying to overcompensate for weaknesses around him?
I mean, he made some throws yesterday. Would you say you've seen those for the last 5-6 years?
Yeah.
It ain't physical. The guy's trying to just do too much.
But if you're trying to do too much, it's because in all likelihood you're overcompensating because meaning Aaron Rodgers, better than anybody that Jordy Nelson ain't who he used to be. And then you look at the Randall Cobbs, the Devontae Adams, and those dudes. Even with Devontae Adams, you're looking at him and you're saying, at that last incomplete pass, he's like, Curl, you're supposed to go here.
Yeah, you're talking about a lack of discipline from Rodgers, really.
Well, you're talking about also guys not vibing with him because they're not running the plays right.
I'd say it's more about trust. Because when you go back to the beginning of last year after he lost Jordy Nelson, I'm going to tell you this. You would not talk about if you saw it on tape and you watched it, you'd be like, there is absolutely no rhythm. Nobody's in sync here. Everybody's running all over doing their own thing. And then Aaron Rodgers goes, well, I'll create. I'll improvise. And then he got into that habit, and he just hasn't been able to get out of it. He's gotten spurts where he has, but it's become a habit for him.
By the way, he took his team to overtime against a really good Arizona team in the playoffs, making consecutive throws that no one else can make.
And he looked sharper and more playing within the structure of play,
then that speaks
which is a positive. He's got to keep going.
That speaks to a lack of discipline on his part, or dare I say, being a bit distracted and unfocused.
Well, I think there's a coaching responsibility too.
Which is why I brought up Mike McCarthy.
Listen,
who's calling the plays now? Wasn't calling them last year.
Then I will say this. Never forget this. A coach has all the power and no control. Because who says it's not been coached and worked on all week, and then a player gets in it and he does his own deal? You just don't know that. I always throw that caveat in there because I don't think for a second they're going on the board. Aaron, we're going to make a play here on 1, okay? And then we're going to scramble on 2 just to change it up. That ain't happening in the game room and during the week.
Merrill, thank you for breaking it down for us. Appreciate the insight. And just a reminder, it's Halloween. So
I know. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Scary Halloween. It's Happy Halloween.
Coming up next, Dak has the Cowboys off to a 6-1 start. We asked you guys earlier in the show if the Cowboys are the favorites in the NFC. We'll have those results and react after the break. The First Take, Your Take viewer contest is here, and you can win a chance to debate Stephen A. and Max right here on national TV. All you have to do is go to firstTakeYourTake.com. Go to that website, upload a 1-minute video with your best original sports debate. Keep it clean, plus no music. Also keep it fresh, something we've just talked about. Team logos, trademarks, or copyright material. 2 winners will be selected by our show staff. Get to work, people. We want to see you in Bristol taking on these 2 fine gentlemen. Here's a few of the latest submissions.
Wherever Kevin Durant went, he went to win. So let's stop it with you, Stephen A. Super teams win multiple championships, and that's what Kevin Durant is trying to do.
I am sick and tired of this conversation of Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors. I see a player who wanted to have a better situation, a better chance of winning.
This is going to be the easiest cakewalk to the NBA Finals I've ever seen. The Golden State Warriors are going to return 4 NBA All-Stars on the same team, all in their prime. Okay, this is not a Western Conference All-Star team. This is an NBA team.
These teams will adapt to change. The only team who has not figured this out is yours and Max's beloved Knicks. God only knows when they'll catch up.
First Take is brought to you by Golden Corral. New 7-day shrimp extravaganza with 7 shrimp dishes. LegalZoom. Get legal help for your business and family at LegalZoom.com. And Under Armour. I will.
The First Take Your Take viewer contest is here. You can win a chance to debate Stephen A. and Max right here on national TV. All you have to do is go to firstTakeYourTake.com, upload a 1-minute video with your best original sports debate. Keep it clean, plus no music, team logos, trademarks, or copyrighted material. 2 winners will be selected by our show staff, so get to work. And we could see you right here taking on Stephen A. and Max. Here's a few of our latest submissions.
Has Kevin Durant made the Warriors worse? Come on, man. Is this even a question? Of course he has. First off, there's no rim protector now. There's no rim protector. So if anybody has any type of issues with him, they're going to go to the rack like LeBron was doing all finals.
He is now going wherever Steph Curry takes him. He is not the leader on that team. Steph Curry is. After Steph Curry, it goes to Klay Thompson.
He's salty that they got slapped by 29 against the Spurs. He's salty about that. And this is his way of trying to pump himself up by taking shots at the media, saying that he's this, he's that. Well, man, look, you made the decision to go to the Warriors, not them. Just be about it. Don't talk about it. Just be about it. Win the title. That's how you shut them up.
Guy in the red jacket.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Yep.
He's got something, little personality there. I liked it. I liked it.
No question.
Yes.
I think you might like this, too. We asked you guys earlier in the show, are the Cowboys the favorites to win the NFC? And the results are in. 64% say yes, agreeing with you, Dr. Smith.
Well, I mean, our listeners, our viewers are obviously getting wiser and wiser every day. They're listening to the man, and it's a wise way for them to go.
Who's the man?
That would be me.
Oh, okay.
That would be me. That would be me. I just thought I'd point that out.
My job is to stick it to the man.
I'm still waiting for you to try and do that.
Happens in every argument.
That failed miserably in that regard.
This is a popularity contest, and if the Cowboys give their fans a reason to be happy and excited, they're going to vote that way. But in fact, when you look at Seattle, Russell Wilson's going to heal at some point, you would think, presumably throughout the course of this season, and start to play better other than just being out on the field. And given their experience, their coach, and that defense, I like Seattle. And the way Minnesota's played this year, you got to like Minnesota. I think it's a bad matchup for Dallas, by the way. The Eagles exploited the offensive line of Minnesota in a way I don't think Dallas can. So I like Seattle, Minnesota over Dallas.
I got to admit, listen, like I said, it's setting up perfectly because the Dallas Cowboys are going to get to the penultimate point and then they'll collapse before hundreds of millions of people.
Penultimate meaning the Super Bowl.
Second, that's right.
Yep.
Potentially. I think when we look at the Dallas Cowboys right now, they're in the conversation because they can run the football, they can move the chains. Dez Bryant being back in there, I think elevates them offensively. And the more your offense flows, the less of a responsibility you throw on the shoulders of your defense. That is the formula that Dallas must use, but I don't know if anybody in the NFC can stop them from doing that.
I hope you're wrong about that, and I think they can stop them. It's like if you have a candidate that you really don't want to see get to a general election. You want to see him losing the primaries, that candidate losing the primaries. That's the Dallas Cowboys for many. They have a huge fan base, but also a lot of haters. They don't want to see him get that to the Super Bowl.
Coincidentally, that's the analogy you use, huh?
Well, I'm just, we are in an election.
I'm just saying.
Vikings,
Just threw that out there, but there's no reason, huh? Okay.
Hope they lose
Vikings,
the primary.
Bears. Who you got? Tough one to pick.
You said Jay Cutler's playing? End of discussion. Vikings. What a waste.
Oh, Vikings, Bears.
What a waste.
That was a joke.
I don't care who's playing. Vikings.
What a waste.
Nothing we're excited about to see in this game?
Nothing.
Well, if you hate Jay Cutler, there's something excited to see because that
Listen,
Vikings defense is
the
brutal.
only accident waiting to happen worse than the Dallas Cowboys is Jay Cutler. Or if Mark Sanchez was around, but it would still be Jay Cutler.
Your favorite WWE wrestler, Goldberg.
Oh, Goldberg!
He's here tomorrow.
Goldberg!
And,
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Oh, please.